It is started, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay, let me share my screen. Just, too many things here. All right, today we are reading Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 24, verses 20 through 25. I'll start with the verse and translation and purpose. 20. There you go. Sorry for the little bit delay. Maitreya Vacha ताव आश्वास्य जगत्स्रष्टा कुमारैः सह नारदः हंसो हंसेन यानेन त्रिधामा परमं ययौ. Maitreya Vacha. Maitreya said, Tau, the couple, Ashwasya, having reassured, Jagat Srashta, the creator of the universe, Kumare, along with the Kumaras, Saha Naradaha, with Narada, Hamsaha, Lord Brahma, Hamsena Yanena, by his swan carrier, Tridhama Paramam, to the highest planetary system, Yayav, went. Translation and purport by his Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Sri Maitreya said, after thus speaking to Kardama Muni and his wife Devahuti, Lord Brahma, the creator of the universe, who is also known as Hamsa, went back to the highest of the three planetary systems on his swan carrier with the four Kumaras and Narada. Purport. The words Hamsena, Yanena are very significant here. Hamsayana, the airplane by which Brahma travels all over outer space, resembles a swan. Brahma is also known as Hamsa because he can grasp the essence of everything. His abode is called Tridhama Paramam. There are three divisions of the universe: the upper planetary system, the middle planetary system, and the lower planetary system. But his abode is above even Siddhaloka, the upper planetary system. He returned to his own planet with the four Kumaras and Narada because they were not going to be married. The other rishis who came with him, such as Marichi and Atri, remained there because they were to be married to the daughters of Kardama. But his other sons, Sanat, Sanaka, Sanandana, Sanatana, and Narada, went back with him in his swan-shaped airplane. The four Kumaras and Narada are Naistika Brahmacharis. Naistika Brahmachari refers to one who never wastes his semen at any time. They were not to attend the marriage ceremony of their other brothers, Marichi and the other sages, and therefore they went back with their father Hamsa. Text 21. गते शतत्सुतोक्षतः कर्तमस्तेन चोदितः यतोदितं स्वदुहित्री प्रादाद् विश्वसृजां ततः. O Vidura, after the departure of Brahma, Kardama Muni, having been ordered by Brahma, handed over his 9 daughters as instructed to the 9 great sages who created the population of the world. 22-23. Marichaye kalam pradad anasuyam atatraye shraddham angirase yachat pulasyaya havirbhuvam पुलहाय गतिं युक्तां क्रतवे च क्रियां सतीं ख्यातिं च पृगवे यच्छद वसिष्ठायाप्यरुन्धतीम्. Kardama Muni handed over his daughter Kala to Marichi and another daughter Anasuya to Atri. He delivered Shraddha to Angira and Havirbhu to Pulasya. He delivered Gati to Pulaha, the chaste Kriya to Kratu, Khyati to Bhrigu, and Arundhati to Vasishta. 24. अथर्वणे ददाच्छान्तिं यया यज्ञो वितन्यते विप्रऋषभान् कृतोत्वाहन् सदारान् समलालयत्. He delivered Shanti to Atharva. Because of Shanti, sacrificial ceremonies are all well performed. Thus he got the foremost Brahmanas married, and he maintained them along with their wives. The final text. ततस्तऋषयक्षतः कृतदारा निमन्त्र्यतम् Pratishtham Nandimapanna Swam Ashrama. Thus married, the sages took leave of Kadama and departed full of joy, each for his own hermitage, O Vidura. We'll do the prayers and then we'll have some discussion. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Sriyutapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Deham Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamsha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Saptakanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Nityanamine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gauravaktarunda Narayanam Namaskrityam Narancheva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udhirayet Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna devotees, welcome to today's morning Srimad Bhagavatam reading or class. We started from text 20 through 25 today. Sri Maitreya said, after thus speaking to Kardama Muni and his wife Devahuti, Lord Brahma, the creator of the universe, who is also known as Hamsa, went back to the highest of the three planetary systems on his swan carrier with the four Kumaras and Narada. Okay. So in this chapter, the chapter titled The Renunciation of the Kardama Muni. So as soon as the 9 daughters were born in the womb of Devahuti, he started to leave the place, renunciate basically. And in this chapter, the renunciation of Kardama Muni, as we go further, he takes the blessings of Lord Kapila and then he renunciates the family and the material world. He just keeps going. And then the other part of the discussion in the previous verses were discussed how Lord's birth in Devahuti is going to take place. That's what's being spoken by Kardama Muni to wife Devahuti to relieve her lamentation. And then also Brahma arrived with other sages, his sons, and he spoke to both Kardama Muni and Devahuti about how the daughters should get married, need to get married to the sons or the sages, the great sages, which was described here in these verses as well. And then also he glorified the son to be born or appear, Lord Kapila, and then he glorified the Lord Kapila as well. So this was the previous text, and in this text, after Brahma spoke, he then started to leave with some of his sons. Here stated is 4 Kumaras and Narada. And in the purport, Prabhupada talks about how Brahma is also known as Hamsa, and we hear sometimes Paramahamsas. Basically, they are essence seekers, which is also referred to Brahma here. Like, what is essence seekers or Paramahamsas? Like swans, Hamsas, like what swans do, how they separate the milk from the water. Even Paramahamsas extract the spiritual essence from worldly life while rejecting material distractions. And who else we can speak about more than Srila Prabhupada himself? He's a Paramahamsa to us. And then he ordered his son Kardamamuni to give away his daughters to these sages, to other sons, and he left. However, uh, most the sages were there, but the four Kumaras and Narada, they also left in his swan carrier. Why? Because they were referred here as Naistika Brahmacharis. And Prabhupada mentioned Naistika Brahmachari refers to one who never wears his semen at any time. So how is semen used by yogis? I have some notes. In broader yogic traditions, semen is considered a powerful life force and spiritual energy. Yogis aim to retain and redirect this energy upward through practices like brahmacharya, celibacy, and meditation. By conserving semen, it is believed to transform into Ojas Shakti, a subtle spiritual energy that enhances mental clarity, memory, and vitality. Even in our teachings, it emphasizes that the semen should only be used responsibly within marriage for procreation. Otherwise, its loss is viewed as a depletion of vital energy, hindering one's spiritual progress. So therefore, it is very important, and we try to practice that. And towards the end of the purport, it was mentioned that why, because of being there in their ashrama, brahmachari ashrama, they were not to attend the marriage ceremony of their other brothers, the Marichi and other sages, and they left. So I was contemplating on that particular thing. Like, imagine I have my brother's sibling, so he's getting married, let's say, and if I have to leave or I have to not stay in India and then come back to whatever I'm doing here, I cannot imagine that. I mean, that is not in my position or capacity at this time. So then I was thinking like one should be in their position. One should know what their duty is at the time. In other words, we cannot imitate few devotees or Paramahamsas like Prabhupada, or even to the level of brahmacharis like the four Kumaras, Narada Muni. So it is not in our capacity. It's not in my capacity. So it is very important that when a situation arises, uh, I'm speaking to myself again. I should be very aware of what my position at the time and where I am in the progressing of my spiritual path, and then take a decision. More often, we tend to see to get into this kind of a mode, automatic mode, where what scripture says something that we should not do such and such things, but are we really? Is my mind there? Yeah, externally I might be doing, not artificially doing. Yes, I'm not doing that, but where are my thoughts going? Where am I? So it's very important to understand that, because yesterday when I was reading Srimad Bhagavatam to my daughter Sia, she was asking. It is in Kunti's prayers, uh, where not even Kunti's prayers. Uh, it's the beginning of that, the Kunti's prayers, uh, where Maharaj Parikshit saved. She was asking when uh, they were lamenting after the battlefield, Krishna pacified with other munis. And I asked, how do you pacify if a situation, something like that happens? And she started saying all what we usually hear from our scriptures, like, oh, the Sankhya philosophy, like this is body, we are not to be uh, taking too much or attached to this body, and we can think of what other things come about. So that will not take away one's grief. I try to explain her that, okay, that is there, that is not in our capacity. Because I've asked, what do you do? Yeah, maybe Krishna Munis were able to do, citing the stringent laws of material nature and all of those. But what is our position? So I try to explain that. Um, how we need to respond to those situations, to just be there, to hear them out and whatnot. So that's where I was bringing this conversation today, like how one should understand their ashrama, uh, and of course our ashrama here, even though we are practicing devotees, we are not devotees yet, in one sense, or a pure devotee. So we are still practicing. So we need to understand our ashrama and act accordingly. And there are several personalities given here: the sages, the Kumaras, Narada, Kardamamuni themselves, and Devahuti, especially Kardamamuni and Devahuti. They epitomize the ideal family life. In other words, there is an opportunity for everyone, in whatever position that we were, that they can perfect their spiritual growth or spiritual advancement, just like how Kardamamuni is ideal in his Grahastha ashrama. And if we have more time, I want to uh, narrate the story of another sage, Saubari Muni, which I came across in Canto 9 while we are reading in our reading group. He, yeah, we will see. He also is a mystic yogi, just like Kardama Muni, but he fell down from his position while he's doing austerity in the river Yamuna. Under the water, he saw the fish mating, and then he got this uh, interest, or his tendencies changed, and he went to the king of that time, Mandata, and he asked for one of his daughters. He begged actually, so he can have that sensual gratification. Anyways, but at the end, uh, he gave up. He understood. He realized that uh, what he has been doing is not giving him any satisfaction, and then he left and he took vanaprastha, and then finally achieved the spiritual liberation. So again, I think I could connect to that Saubari Muni more than uh, Narada Muni and all these other great souls, because our position is running after sense gratification. So then I realized that there is a position we need to just take, how His Holiness Rompat Swami Maharaj says that pause, reset, and then start it again. So just like Saubari Muni, he at that time the Srimad Bhagavatam explains in such a way that the ruler who the king who he got the daughters from, he's the ruler of the entire world. And when he built the palace and other paraphernalia for his enjoyment, the king himself uh, gave up his pride looking at his opulence, and the heavenly demigods were awed about looking at his things. So, what to speak of our chasing for sense gratification? There's nothing compared to him. And then he did whatever he did, and then he gave up his life. We don't need to do or chase all the way through what he did, and we cannot do it. That is not in our capacity as well. But it's he's giving us an example. Srimad Bhagavatam is telling us that okay, what maximum where we can go until. So we need to realize that and take a U-turn. And I was also doing in Bhagavad Gita on 15th chapter as part of our Bhakti Shastri. Prabhupada nicely says in some of the purpose, he gave some secrets uh, how we can detach, just like how Kadamuni. Kadamuni was detached from the get go. It's not like he went through something like Saubari Muni and he got detached finally, but Kadamuni is a different example. Even Lord Vishnu appeared and he shed tears, which later found, I think, Manas Sarovar or something. So he is a pure devotee from the start. But Prabhupada explains here that when we understand that Krishna is behind every enjoyment of ours, whatever we are chasing for, then Krishna consciousness has begun. That is the start of our consciousness in Krishna's lens. And Krishna consciousness has begun. So in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, we know all of this, that he enters the sun, he's in moon, he enters into each planet. He is also the fire in the stomach, etc. And then what Prabhupada says is we are not independent even to enjoy what we are eating. We need Krishna's grace for that. Once we understand this concept, then one can be detached from one's conditional life and become Krishna conscious. It's very important to be humble, that we are very insignificant. When when we think we are independent, we should know that we are insignificant as well. And then one should also be practicing detachment, and how one can understand that we are insignificant. Again, in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says to Arjuna, Sarvasya chaham hridi sannivishto mattas pratas. That verse. He says, I live in the heart of all living entities, and from me comes remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. Without these three supplied by the Lord, one cannot imagine his life, which is, we don't need to debate about that. These three things, which is knowledge, remembrance, and intelligence, and forgetfulness. Without these three, we cannot survive. So this tells how low we are, how insignificant we are, how much dependence we have on Krishna. So therefore, by practicing this detachment, just like how the Kumaras, Narada Muni, and the Saubhari Muni, they're all they're performing their own prescribed duties. It's not that they are doing whatever they feel like doing at that time. In Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 213 verse, we know that Samsiddhir Haritoshnam. In that verse, it talks about how to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And it says that one should perform the prescribed occupational duties as per their varna and ashrama. And then that's how you can please Lord Hari. So then I was thinking we should know our position again, and coming back to that, where we are, what we are doing. We should understand our position and then act accordingly. And that pleases the Lord, because it is like it's like how Rompad Maharaj says, like it's one step at a time, taking in the right direction. It's a gradual and slow process. Krishna conscious process, well, as I understood, is not like that. Okay, you become Krishna consciousness right away by doing steps 1, 2, 3, 4. It's not like that. It's a very gradual and slow process, and we should acknowledge that. And in the next few verses, have 4 minutes. The next few verses spoke about how, again, Kardama Muni, we know about how he obeyed Lord Brahma, his instructions, as so much so that Lord Vishnu came down and he blessed him. And here also, as per his instruction, Lord Brahma's instruction, he handed over his 9 daughters to the 9 great sages. And it's also not important that in the previous verses, it spoke about how their marriages to the great sages were arranged based on compatibility, ensuring the girls or the daughters' temperaments and preferences, it were respected. It's not like they just, okay, he instructed and he did not took their permission or anything, and then, okay, go get married. It's not like that. They completely understand their temperaments and preferences. They were respected, and accordingly, they were getting married to these 9 great sages. So there's, again, it's falling back to what my whole point of this class. We need to understand our temperament, our preferences, and respect ourselves before doing or acting what we are acting on. I just found this notes because it is very relatable. What happened to these 9 daughters, what they did. So the daughters of Kardama Muni significantly influenced the development of various species in the universe by marrying great sages and producing diverse progeny, which expanded the population across different realms. Each daughter contributed uniquely. Like the Kala, wife of Marichi, she gave birth to progenitors of human and demigod lineages. Anasuya, wife of Atri, became the mother of Durvasa, Dattatreya, and Chandra, who played key roles in cosmic administration. Shraddha, wife of Angira, she produced descendants who upheld sacrificial rituals and dharma. Havirabhu, wife of Pulasya, contributed to the creation of celestial beings. Gati, wife of Pulaha, helped populate various species through her offspring. Kriya, wife of Kratu, gave rise to numerous sages. Kyati, wife of Bhrigu, became the mother of Lakshmi and other important figures. Arundhati, wife of Vasishtha, ensured the continuation of sage lineages. Shanti, wife of Atharva, facilitated sacrificial practices through her progeny. So their unions with sages ensured the propagation of humans, demigods, animals, and other species, fulfilling Brahma's directive to populate the universe with diverse life forms. Again, everyone is acting as per the authority, as per, I know tendencies is on one side, but not to forget what there are some boundaries that we need to have, healthy boundaries, and then act accordingly. So just like how they're obeying the higher authority here, as in the case of Brahma. I don't think I have enough time, but let me read this story quickly, maybe a minute extra. So the story of Shaubari Muni, as I said, is described in Canto 9, Srimad Bhagavatam. Shaubari Muni was a powerful sage engaged in deep austerities underwater in the Yamuna River. He offended Garuda, Lord Vishnu's carrier, by cursing him to protect the fish in the river. Therefore, he fell down here. Let's see what happens next. While meditating, Saubari became agitated upon seeing fish mating, which awakened desires within him. Overcome by these desires, he approached King Mandata to marry one of his daughters, but ended up marrying all 50 princesses after transforming himself into a youthful and attractive man through his mystic powers. Again, there is one common aspect from Kardama Muni and Shaubari Muni, how Kardama Muni expanded himself into 9 forms, which is the maximum number of forms. Prabhupada says, citing some scriptures, that in the material world one can go expand up to 9 forms, the mystic siddhis, and Krishna can do unlimited forms, but 9 forms, which Kardama Muni did, and Shaubari Muni did until 8. Don't know the reason, but 8. And then I think he did 100 children. He conceived 100 children in each of his wives. There are 50 in number, so 5,000 children. Using his spiritual abilities, Saubari created immense material opulence to satisfy his wives. However, he soon realized that such indulgence only led to dissatisfaction. Regretting his actions, he renounced worldly life, returned to austerities in the forest, and ultimately attained spiritual perfection. His wives also achieved liberation through his influence. So this is a very short, brief story of him. But if someone read it, you can go back and read it. If you did not, so it's very interesting that few verses. I think the verses numbers is Canto 9, 6, 38 through 55, something like that. It's more translation, more words, and more details. It touched me. So I think maybe I'll stop here. Anyone has any comments, discussion, please let me know.
Thank you, Prabhu. I joined back again. So,
Oh, thank you, bro. I thought I'll end, but yeah.
Yeah. No, I think the first verse that you read today, I mean, it happened in the, because I mean, we remember Narada got cursed, right? He cannot stay in one place for more than some time, but he left the place to his planet. That's what Prabhupada is saying. So it happened before that event, right? So that's how I was kind of understanding. So, because he's going to his planet, he says, so it's one career. So because Narada doesn't stay in one place anytime, so he doesn't have his place of own. So
Oh, okay. So you're trying to see the
yeah,
chronological when
yeah,
did he got the curse after or before?
yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, I don't know the detail. I did not think
Yeah.
through.
I think it
Yeah.
will be even before, because after he gets cursed by Daksha, right? So
Right, right. Yes, yes. At some point he cursed. You're right. Yeah. Yes, yes, yes.
Daksha or
Either
someone.
way, he left the world.
Uh,
Daksha, Prabhu. Yes, Daksha. Sons, he turns them into devotees. So yes.
and the other thing, I was trying to do parallel comparison to Prabhupada, but Prabhupada did not leave. He actually encouraged his disciples, or he even kind of arranged, right, marriages for his
Oh,
disciples. So, but whereas this, the renounced order of person, so they will be leaving the place, right? So, it is.
right. So brahmacharis, yes, but yeah, your point is he he encouraged, right? Again, yeah, that's where I was thinking. My whole point in this class is Prabhupada can understand the tendencies of these brahmacharis. He readily did not. I don't think he encouraged. Okay, get married. He encouraged enough to be brahmacharis as well. But the brahmachari, he might have saw something or he heard from them. Of course, he encouraged marriage later on. But yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So in the Kali Yuga, it's not easy to get into brahmachari life. My obeisances to them who actually even trying doing that. It's such
Hmm.
a yeah, yeah, not my yeah. Yes, Prabhu. Thank you for sharing. All right. Thank you for attending the class. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitano pavanebhyo vaishnavibhyo namo namaha. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, you can end the call, Prabhupada.